Okay, so it's been about a week since I finished recording the unboxing, and since then, me and this game have been on quite the journey.
What you know about retro ghetto, collecting and playing retro. Lock into the retro ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto and yet another CEX Lottery. This is the most financially and emotionally invested I've been in one of these since I started recording them. The reason being is this game has been top of my want list to play ever since I purchased my last grail, which was Back of Mice from Mars on the Super Nintendo. That's a game that I was coveting for some time. I've now moved on to this game. I've been after this game for months, but the prices just keep going up and up and up. And it's never been in stock on CEX until now. And not only that, I've actually bought this with cash. Shock horror, I spent cash, which is very much unlike me. But I recently bought a very, very large purchase and used all of my CEX funds. So I exhausted all my CEX vouchers. And the inevitable happens, right? Sod's law. Once I'd spent all my vouchers, I think over the next 3 or 4 days, I had about 6 alerts that came through. All of games that I would have bought had I had the vouchers sitting in my pocket. But this one, I could not refuse. I could not let it go. So I used my own cash to buy this. So yeah, I'm very much invested in this, both in terms of wanting to play it, but also financially. This game's got to be there. It has to have a manual or it will be going back without a question of a doubt. But CEX also have this game very underpriced. This game at the moment, you struggle to see it going for less than 100, 120 complete. So CEX have got it for 58, so it was £60 posted. CEX had it for a great price, so let's just hope that the condition's there and I can add this to my shelves. And here it is. And credit where credit is due. CEX got this to me next day. I've never ordered anything from CEX and had it arrive the very next day. So yeah, huge shout out to CEX for that one. Also, it's nice and big box. Doesn't seem to be rattling around, so hopefully the packaging is all good. I actually received this just a few hours ago, but such is my desire to play this game, I had to get this filmed. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's pull this tab open. There we go. Actually kind of nervous, you know. Like I say, I've been after this, I've had it as a saved search on my eBay for probably 4 or 5 months. They do come up every now and again on eBay, but on bidding, as I say, they're going for over £100. I just don't want to be spending that. But it's definitely a game I think will go up and up in value. Okay, let's get rid of that. Right, so full transparency so far, that's all I've seen. Still can't see anything. Right, that passed the parcel look. Before we go any further, I should tell you guys this is a Mega Drive game. So yeah, you don't have to worry too much about damaging it. It's not like Nintendo cardboard. More packaging. They love this Yarmy wrap, don't they? Shout out to this CEX branch. I'm not sure who it is, but it's very well packaged. Let's hope it was worth packaging so well. Right, okay.
Opening.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
God damn it, what is it?
Right, before we get any further, I'm going to show you guys the game. It is Phelios on the Mega Drive. Released by Namco in 1989 on the Namco System 2 arcade, this Mega Drive port then came a year later in 1990. You play as Apollo, god of sun, on your legendary winged horse Pegasus to rescue Artemis, the goddess of the moon, from the Titan Typhon. Now, as a man who enjoys his shmups, and I particularly love 16-bit era shmups, and a man that loves Greek mythology, I've even got Pegasus tattooed on my chest, this game was made for me, right? As soon as I saw this game on a review or something on YouTube, I thought, how have I not heard of this game before? How do I not already own this game? A Greek mythology inspired shmup from the 16-bit era is everything I could want, right? If I was to make my own video game, there's a chance it could be this. But let's get into it. But looking at the box, I don't know if it's sun faded or if it's supposed to be like that. It's quite hard to see. I'm gonna open it and have a look. Because it's quite an old box, sometimes the plastic cover can have an impact on what you're seeing. I'm not sure it is sun faded because the blacks are quite black, as you can see. I just think maybe the cover art is quite like a pastel shade maybe. Obviously I'll research that, but more importantly, there's no manual. I knew as soon as I picked it up. It's light, there's no manual. As you can probably see by my lack of words, I'm dejected. I'm very disappointed. With me having spent my own cash on this, and not only that, but it being a game that I really wanted to add to my collection, and now I'm in a position where I don't even know whether I should put this video out because this video is just going to raise more awareness about a game that I'm already struggling to find. I don't need more competition. I don't know what I'm going to do. Who knows? Hopefully there's a manual sitting on eBay right now or something. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Let me know in the comments if you've played this game. But as always, we're now going to cut to me doing a bit of gameplay. I'll give you a quick review on it, my thoughts on the game itself. Hopefully I hate it. Hopefully it's not what I imagined it would be. Right, in a bit.
Retro Ghetto.
Okay, so it's been about a week since I finished recording the unboxing, and since then, me and this game have been on quite the journey. As soon as I finished recording, I was convinced I was returning it to CEX, and then I put it in and played it. Oh wow, I fell in love. I originally just wanted to test the game, make sure it was working, see what the gameplay was like. 2-3 hours later, I was still playing it and I completed it on novice mode, and I can't wait to get back into it and play it on the higher difficulty setting. Like I touched upon in the video, this 16-bit shmup, you play as Apollo. You shoot projectiles from your sword whilst flying the winged horse Pegasus. I mean, what is not to love, right? It's got amazing visuals, fantastic soundtrack, and I was hooked from the moment that I put it into my Mega Drive. I'm a Patreon member of a good friend of mine, Ben's amazing channel, One Credit Classics, where he goes through games like a knife through butter, and he does them now on live streams. If you are a Patreon member like myself, you can suggest games that you want him to play. I, of course, suggested Felios. He loved it. Everyone in the live chat seemed to love it. This really is a hidden gem on the Mega Drive. So it's safe to say at this point that I now don't want to be without the game. But it's weighing on my mind heavy that I paid £60 cash for this game, and it did turn up incomplete. So I took to eBay. And there was one on eBay that I noticed that was complete. It wasn't in great condition. The sort of outer lay was a bit tatty. And it was an £80 opening bid. And I thought, right, I'm going to keep my eye on this. And for 6 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, this game was on £80. I went in last second with a cheeky £85 bid thinking, yep, I'll have this. I'll spend the extra £20. I'll return this to CEX. Everyone's a winner. Loading. 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 £138.36 this game sold for. Wow. So at this point I'm thinking, right, I'm going to struggle to get this game for anywhere near what CEX are selling it for. CEX have got this game hugely undervalued at £58. So now I've got a real dilemma on my hands. I don't want to get rid of the game. I don't want to spend 140 plus for a copy of the game. But it's weighing on my mind that I spent £70 cash on it. It's not quite sitting right, so I needed to do something about it.
Retro Ghetto.
The very next day I went into one of my local charity shops and I found my first ever PlayStation 5 game in a charity shop. It wasn't an amazing game, but still surprised to see that people are already taking PlayStation 5 titles into a charity shop. So that was Watch Dogs. They also had a copy of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Wii Sports, so I can only assume they all come from the same person because they're all sat in the back room together. I paid £1.50 each for those items and they had a total cash trading value at CEX of £23. So I'm now concocting a bit of a plan. My plan is to go to CEX, return the game, get the cash refunded, and then buy the game back partially using vouchers, which would make me just feel a little bit better about the situation with it being incomplete. However, when I got to CEX, there was one more charity shop just around the corner, and I picked up this box set. This box set also cost me £1.50. Do not sleep on box sets, guys. If you're hunting in charity shops or anywhere else, I've made an absolute killing recently on box sets. It doesn't even have to be Blu-rays, even old DVDs. Often people will sell them at a DVD price or a slightly inflated price. For example, this one was what, £1.50. This had a £7 trading on it. So I'm now going back to CEX for a total of £30 worth of trading voucher goods to take off the value of this game. And when I first concocted the idea to do this, I did think to myself, is it somewhat underhand to take something back and then buy it immediately? But upon thinking about it, actually no, I think both sides end up better off. CEX want you to trade in goods. They give you a value of which they can make money on. So theoretically, by taking them items, they're going to make money both on those items and the item that you are buying from them. So I think it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Retro Ghetto.
The reason that I wanted to tell this story is that there's no right or wrong way to collect video games, or in particularly retro video games. Since I've started recording these as CEX Lotteries, I've had no luck whatsoever. I've not had one retro manual in one of these live unboxings. So you've got to find a way to manipulate it to make it work for you. It looks like a sign of the times that it's going to become more and more frequent that you don't get manuals with CEX. Unless you want to go out and pay eBay prices or market value, best way to do it is to find a little backup plan. Like we did with Tom and Jerry. We already had the manual prior, so going into it, anticipating that might not be a manual, it's okay because I had one. And the same with this situation. If you can go out and find something over the next, I think you get 14 days in charity shops, you can return it to CEX, use your vouchers, and in my case end up, what, £30 better off, and more importantly, put your mind right to make you happy and at ease with your purchase. So in closing, Phelios is an amazing game. Whichever way you can get your hands on it, I would advise you do so, whether it's a ROM or you're able to find yourself a decent copy or you're happy to pay the prices out there. Grab Phelios because this really is an unearthed gem on the Mega Drive. This game right now owes me just £34, so what we've managed to do over this last few days is really put it right in my own mind. I'm delighted with this game. I've gone from being unhappy to having a game that wasn't complete to being delighted that I've got a game that owes me £34 when realistically a decent copy selling for nigh on £150. Let me know in the comments what you think of what we've been able to do here. Also let me know if you've played this game. Have you ever spent any time on this game or do you plan to do so? Make sure you check in next week's video because you're going to see exactly what I've spent all of those CEX vouchers on that I've been amassing for so long. It's been a very, very expensive couple of weeks. We'll be showing all that next week. As always, play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you then, take care.
Retro Ghetto.